Hello, this is Modified Ninja with another video review. Today we're taking a look at Perfect Effect Aranea. Let's take a look at the box, move her out of the way. Here's the box. That's everything she comes with and what she turns into. She comes packaged in robot mode, just as such, with all those pieces that, as you see. These pieces are for turning her into the motorcycle mode, as well as she has a spider drone. We'll go and take a look at all the weapons. She comes with a rifle, 2 knives, a pistol, a clip, and it might be hard to see. This clip's for attaching the rifle in motorcycle mode. Here is the motorcycle tail, or the spider drone head, or it turns into a shield. And this is the spider butt. Legs and legs. Okay, she can actually hold all of her weapons at once in robot mode. I like to flip that back down. And I just set that right through that hole under this peg. There's one. Her backup pistol. Goes there. I have to put one of her knives on the other side. And she can hold her knife. If you'd like to, you can even clip her shield on her. Lost her knife. Okay, there she is. She has all of her weapons on her. You can take the knives and stick them right into the shield to give her some offensive melee power on her shield. Her hand just goes right around that, and her arm fits on this clip. Okay. We'll just put them in the front like this. Flip out the little pinchers and flip out the connector like so. Set that aside. You're going to take your spider legs, go ahead and open them up. Rotate these 180 degrees also. Let's rotate these. Okay. Set those aside. Let's work on the spider butt. Has a nicely sculpted and detailed piston. It's not functional, but it's nice. It's a nice little added detail that they didn't have to put in, but they did. Okay. Spider peg hole for the back section plugs into the head portion. Like so. You want the longer end toward the back, and it plugs into these peg holes. Okay, now we're looking at the spider mode, spider drone. Yeah, it looks really cool. There's all kinds of sculpted detail, paint applications, and posability in this thing. It looks really nice. Okay. Now we will go to the Moto mode. I'm going to pop her gun out. Take the spider tail section off. We're flipping it over. I'm referring to the instructions for this whole review / transformation. Just that way I don't skip any steps or mess anything up. Wouldn't want to mess up an expensive third-party figure. Okay. For her, what we want to do is let's open the head section up, put her little earmuffs, headphones back. Now this neck swivel for me, it's really tight. What it wants to do is it wants to actually pop the head off rather than rotate the neck. So I got to hold it really close down to the neck just to keep the head from popping off. I'll work on loosening that up later. Next, what you want to do is open this portion up also. Use her ab crunch, bend her forward. And rotate her head around. Flip the piston out, the shock absorber, and tuck her head down inside. It's a little fiddly, it's a little tricky to get everything all lined up, but you'll get it eventually. You want to lift up on this piece and slide this in. Okay. It's supposed to click. I don't really get much of a click out of it. But it's in there. Bring these little purple pieces straight down. Fold that part up. Okay, next, bring our arm straight back. Other arm straight back. Fold her fists to where their hands are pointing up. And you want to move them back like so. Stick them into this groove. Twist 180 degrees, stick them in the groove. And we'll need to reposition the hands. You want to make sure that this peg hole is sticking out. Okay, just like so. Use her waist pivot, spin around so she is looking just like that. If you haven't already done so, take off the spider butt and fold this piece back in, up and under. You want to spin the gun. She can keep her pistol in this mode. Spin her gun like so. Make her do the splits. You want to turn the whole thing around. You want to have it so her gun is actually underneath. Make it look like so. Spin this portion just above the knee swivel. That's the only part you want to spin. Spin it up. You want the black detailing, those 3 lines facing toward you. Spin that section up. You can turn the gun so it's facing that direction. And you take the knees and you bend the knees. So she's looking like this. I'm going to open the knee flaps. Take the foot and heel section, spin them upward. And position them this way. Same thing for this side, except this side rests right against the gun. Just like that. It's a little lower. That's what the instructions show, though. You can take the knee armor, spin it 180 degrees, and this one's really tight also, so grab as low as you can. Mine is not wanting to spin, but it will. Man, that's so tight. Afraid I'm going to break it. We'll go to this side. Okay, see? It's supposed to spin. Come on. Spin. There. Okay, it's spun. That was so tight, I was afraid I was going to break it. Okay, now she's positioned as such. Go ahead and flip that all the way back up. Flip the little pinchers, little mouth, little spider mouth out. And you See this peg here? It goes into a peg hole. Just like so. You can just kind of fiddle with the pinchers, put them however you want. Okay, bike mode's coming together. And this shock absorber has a hole for this peg. Okay, it's in there. She's really coming together now. Just gonna line it up. Okay, there she is. And just the bike mode. Let's flip the instructions over. Work on the rest of it. Set the bike aside for now. Okay, you need to take your spider legs and they tab into these holes. Spin 180 degrees and tab them in. Okay, there's one. Okay, spider legs ready for the motorcycle mode. Moving on to the spider butt per the instructions. This side is what it should look like whenever it's all done. This side is what you're going to be working with whenever you're coming from spider drone mode to bike mode. It's a little tricky because you have a couple swivels here you got to work with. First thing you want to do is you want to fold the leg in. That way. So you rotate this up, spin it, lay it down, and you spin the hind spider leg. Okay, we're just going to leave it like that for now. We're going to reposition once we get to bike mode. That's done. Flip it over. This one goes on this side. Just like that. The other one goes on the opposite side. Okay. Spider legs are on. It's wanting me to put the rifle on. This is where the small clip comes into play. Just go ahead and fold that up. Place the peg into the side of the gun and you clip it on right here where there's a small indentation. Just clips on. Okay, now we peg this into the bike. I forgot to show you that you have a kickstand in bike mode. That's the butt portion that folds out, and she just can rest at a natural position, even though it's the opposite side on a real bike. Normally kickstands come out the left foot side. And we want to peg that into the bottom portion. Just getting everything lined up is kind of the biggest pain. The issue seems to be that you have to have this gun pushed all the way up into the notch and groove in order to get the clearance necessary to peg in the bottom portion. There. Okay. Operator error, I suppose. The same peg you used to hold the spider portion on the back of her in bot mode. Okay, she's tabbed in. Let's go ahead and position these. Okay, yeah, you do want these totally flat to that side. The way it lines up appropriately. In bike mode. This is one of the tolerance issues. Speaking of, is just a little too loose. I'll have to tighten that up. This one's nice and tight, however. Another tolerance is these are just kind of floppy. But back to transformation. Let's go ahead and set her down. Flip back in that C clamp, or that C clip, if you haven't already. What's going to happen is, I'll fold this in. You're going to want to put this section right here on her arms, and it'll click into place. Her arms must be positioned correctly in order for this to happen. So you have the peg hole there, and her hand must be facing up so she can grab the bar inside of the spider head. Okay, she's clicked in. It's not an audible click, but it's definitely a click. And this is where you plug her knives in. Just like that, and the other side. Just like that. Okay, if that would stay up, it would look a lot better. And put her handlebars down. Okay, she is now in motorcycle mode. Okay, here she is in motorcycle mode. She looks very nice. She has a lot of details and paint applications, and I'm very impressed with the figure. The only things that I have to complain about are kind of just the tolerance issues and the overall fiddliness of trying to get everything just right. But once you have it just right, it looks really cool. She doesn't want to stand very easy, but that's where this kickstand comes into play. There we go, kickstand on the right side, on the proper side. Okay, we can put our instructions away for now, and just do a size comparison in alt mode. Here she is with a junk heap. Junk Heap also has the Lucky Rogers kit on him. And Ultra Magnus in alt mode. Fall of Cybertron, Ultra Magnus. Okay, let's change her back to robot mode, but all decked out with the with all the spider bits on her. Okay, we'll just start here. Take the knives off. Pop her arms back off, or pop that back off her arms. Don't pop her arms off. Get that back off. Fold her arms out. Untab from here. Swing the leg down, or the foot down. This is one of the tolerance issues I was speaking of also, just so floppy. You want to rotate her kneecap back around, and that lets you move the knee again. Untab. Let's rotate this around. Okay. Back to it. Spin that back around. Gun goes on the outside. The black lines go on the facing the front. And we can rotate this back to where she stands nicely. Okay, there we go. Making headway now. Okay, we want to unclick that, fold that up. Take this flap and fold it back out so you can get the head back up. And her head came off the ball joint. Or her neck came off the ball joint. Just tap it back in. Flip it around. Oh. Put the shock absorber back in. Click her arms back up. Her shoulders back up in place. Rotate her at the waist. And, oh, she lost her headpiece. That piece comes on and off pretty easily. All you have to do is tap it back on. Okay. She's back in robot mode. She has lots of posability, lots of sculpted details. Arms are on or shoulders on a ball joint, pivot up here, a elbow hinge. The purple plastic in her arms, upper arms and hands are really soft rubber. Her hands rotate this way, and they're on a swivel also. Okay, neck is on a very stiff swivel. I'm not going to attempt to move that. Waist hinge, double swivels for hips, swivel above the knee, knees, you get very good angle, and the feet move quite a bit. So you just have to fiddle with those until you can get them to do exactly what you want. Okay, let's put her spider kibble back on her. Let's pop everything off. Move this back around. You just position it however you really want, whatever you think looks the best. That popped off again. Promise you, I'm not being too rough with this. It's very finicky. Okay. Before we do this, you can, if you don't want to put the spider head on her arm as a shield, you can flip out this tab and tab it into the butt portion. Just like that. And that can all hang off the back after you flip this hinge out. Tab it in right here. Okay, finishing up the robot mode with all the spider kibble. Put her spider head on the back along with the spider butt. They peg into each other. Get the wings ready. Put them on just as such. You can position the legs however you want. The instructions, they have them all pointing down. You want to go and just untab them so you can position them. Turn that however you want. Lots of posability in the spider legs hanging off the back. Have it like a cape, flailed out or tucked up. Her gun with a clip still on it, you can clip it in for storage if you want. Clip it in like so. Or even store it like that. You can hold her knives. In her hands. Now she's utilizing every piece that she came with in robot mode, which that's a nice feature, is that in both bike mode and robot mode she can have all of her stuff stored, displayed however you want. You can even put the knives back here if you don't want her to be holding any knives. And holding her gun. As you can see, she has just all kinds of posability. We're going to go and use her shield just to show you what that looks like also. You can get her in about whatever position you think looks the best. Fold the C-clip out. Tuck the peg back in. And it just clips on to her arm. And her hand holds the bar inside. There. Unpeg that. You can peg it in here, wherever you see fit. Whoa, and we lost it. It's a really tight peg hole for that knife. but you can kind of see what you'd get, either have the knives out like that or tucked in. But I think she's a really cool character, a really cool figure. I picked her up from Dub K out in Wichita. He's a really good shop owner, real honest, real down to earth. Check him out. He's at he'll be in the show notes at the bottom. Dub K Toys and More. He has his website up and running. He's also on Facebook. Send him a message. He can pretty much find whatever you want, and if he doesn't have it in stock, he will do his best to look for it. He has all kinds of vintage things, new third party, and that's where I got her from. He has Masterpiece that he's going to be getting. You can pre-order through him. He's just a really outstanding person to work with. As you can see, she's quite a nice figure. Here she is with her box again. She comes with a comic book. Comic book's interesting. It gives just kind of a nice little story over. Kind of shows her utilizing all modes, and just kind of shows you some playability she has. As you can see, she has a few tolerance issues, but she's just jam-packed full of paint details, sculpted details, and I'd recommend her. She's a very nice figure.